query and questions by Vidur. And here in the last section, we saw that Uddhavji is speaking about the great misfortune of the Yadus. What is the greatest misfortune of the Yadus? That they could not recognize Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They could only recognize him partially, not fully. What was the example given? What example was given? Come on, speak. What was the example given? Yes, Manoram bro.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. The example given was that in the Milky Ocean, the fish they thinks that moon is also similar like that. Although moon has arisen from Milky Ocean, but that is different. So similarly in Yadu dynasty also, other persons, Yadus, they have considered Krishna as similar, so they could not distinguish Prabhuji.
Yes, bro. Thank you. Perfect example. Okay, we move forward. You can see the screen. This universe with all its planet is most unfortunate. And even more unfortunate are the members of the Yadu dynasty because they could not identify Lord Hari as the personality of Godhead any more than the fish could identify the moon. Ingitagna Puruproda Ekaramscha Shashvata Satvatam Rishabham Sarve Bhutavasam Amamshata. The Yadus were all experienced devotees, learned and expert in psychic study. Over and above this, they were always with the Lord in all kinds of relaxations. And still, they were able to know him only as one supreme who dwells everywhere. In the Vedas, it is said that the Supreme Lord or the Paramatma cannot be understood simply by the strength of one's erudition of power of mental speculation, not just by one's intelligence or one's memory. Nayam Atma Pravachanena Labhya Na Medhaya Na Bahuna Shutena. Very famous verse. That one cannot benefit to realize that he himself is the Atma, he is the Supreme Spirit, not by Medhaya. Medhaya is intelligence. Na Bahuna Shutena, not by simply mere hearing. He can be known only by one who has the mercy of the Lord. The Yadavas were all exceptionally learned and experienced. But in spite of their knowing the Lord as the one who lives in everyone's heart, they could not understand that he is the original personality of Godhead. This lack of knowledge was not due to their insufficient erudition. It was due to their misfortune. In Vrindavan, however, the Lord was not even known as the Paramatma because the residents of Vrindavan were pure unconventional devotees of the Lord and could think of him only as their objects of love. They did not know that he is the personality of Godhead. The Yadus or the residents of Dwarika, however, could know Lord Krishna as Vasudev or the super soul living everywhere, but not as the Supreme Lord. As scholars of the Vedas, they verified the Vedic hymn, Eko Deva Sarvabhutana. They verified the Vedic hymns, Eko Deva Sarvabhutaha Adhivashaha Antaryami Vrishninam Paradevataha. The Yadavas therefore accepted Lord Krishna as the super soul incarnated in their family and not more than that. So this will lead to the downfall. Devasya Mayaya Sprishta Yochanyad Asad Ashrita Brahmyate Dhir na Tadvyakye Atmani Upatmanoharo. Under no circumstances can the words of person bewildered by the illusionary energy of the Lord deviate the intelligence of those who are completely surrendered. So, very beautiful verse. Under no circumstances can the words of person bewildered by the illusory energy of the Lord, that is, those who are already fallen, who are captivated by the illusionary energy of the Lord. Under no circumstances can the words of person bewildered by the illusionary energy of the Lord deviate the intelligence of those who are completely surrendered. So once a devotee surrenders, as soon as Mamevaya Prapattante Maya Metam Tatpiko, then the illusionary energy, Maya Shakti, cannot act on the jiva any further any longer. Lord Shri Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, according to all the evidences of the Vedas. He is accepted by all acharyas, including Sripad Sankaracharya. But when he was present in the world, different classes of men accepted him differently. And therefore, their calculation of the Lord was also different. Generally, persons who had faith in the revealed scriptures accepted the Lord as he is. And all of them merged into great bereavement when the Lord disappeared from the world. In the first canto, we have already discussed the lamentation of Arjuna and Yudhishthira, to whom the disappearance of Lord Krishna was almost intolerable up to the end of their lives. Okay. He is accepted by all acharyas, including Sripad Sankaracharya. But when he was present in the world, different classes of men accepted him differently. And therefore, their calculation of the Lord were also different. General persons who had faith in the revealed scriptures accepted the Lord as he is. Only those persons who had faith in the scriptures. And all of them merged into great bereavement when the Lord disappeared from the world. In the first canto, we have already discussed the lamentation of Arjuna and Yudhishthira, to whom the disappearance of Lord Krishna was almost intolerable up to the end of their lives. When Yadavas were only partially cognizant of the Lord, but they are also glorious because they had the opportunity to associate with the Lord, who acted as the head of their family. And they also rendered the Lord intimate service. The Yadavas and the other devotees of the Lord are different from those who have wrongly calculated him to be an ordinary human personality. Such persons are certainly bewildered by the illusionary energy. Krishna speaks in Bhagavad Gita many times that Naham Prakasha Sarvasya Yogamaya Samavruta. Bewildered by the illusionary energy. They are hellish and are envious of the Supreme Lord. Why a person fails to accept the authority of the Supreme Lord? The reason is enviousness. And because of envy, they are destined to go to the hellish planet. So Prabhupada is writing they are hellish and are envious of the Supreme Lord. The illusionary energy acts very powerfully on them. Because in spite of their elevated mundane education, such persons are faithless and are infected by the mentality of atheism. They are always very eager to establish that Lord Krishna was an ordinary man who was killed by a hunter due to his many impious acts in plotting to kill the sons of Dhritarashtra and Jarasandha. The demonic kings on earth, Swarsan, have no faith in the statement of Dhritarashtra and Jarasandha. The demoniac kings of the earth such persons have no faith in the statement of the Bhagavad Gita that the Lord is unaffected by reactions of birth. Na mam karmani limpanti, na me karma phale spriha, iti mam yo bhi na janati, karma bhirs na sabadhate. 414. According to the atheistic point of view, Lord Krishna's family, the Yadu dynasty, was vanquished due to being cursed by the Brahmanas for the sins committed by Krishna in killing the sons of Dhritarashtra. All these blasphemies do not touch the heart of the devotees of the Lord because they know perfectly well what is what. Their intelligence regarding the Lord is never disturbed, but those who are disturbed by the statement of the Asuras are also condemned. That is what Udhav meant in this verse. Very important. What Udhavji is saying here, that a person who has once surrendered to Krishna, then he cannot be subject to any illusion, any distraction. There is a very beautiful verse in Bhagavad Gita which speaks about this principle. Exactly the same principle. That a person who has surrendered once, he never comes in contact with illusion. बताइए. Can anyone decide the verse? Under no circumstances does the worth of person revealed by the illusion of the Lord deviate the intelligence of those who are completely surrendered soul. Where is this principle Bhagavad Gita Krishna is speaking? That is surrendered soul who has surrendered even once, he can never be bewildered by the illusionary energy. His intelligence cannot be influenced. Oh, very prominent verse. Yes, Darshit.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी माभ्या विचारणे भक्ति योग सेवती प्रभु जी
You didn't start. One moment. Sorry, the call from Ayodhya, auspicious. Today is the appearance day of Hanumanji. Some devotees are going to Ayodhya, so I was trying to arrange their darshan. Okay, yes. बोलिए रविंद्र प्रभु. अनम्यूट करके बोलो.
प्रभु जी हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी दैवीयस्य गुणमयी मम माया दुरत्वे मामेव ये प्रपद्यन्ते मायम
Good, good, very good. Yes. मामेव या प्रपद्यन्ते माया मेताम तरन्ति ते. Then Maya cannot. But there is one more verse which is exactly the same principle what we are discussing. Very important verse. That he can never be put into illusion. चुपचाप बैठ जाना. क्यों तब इशारे करिए बैठ जाओ. बैठ जा. यद ज्ञात्वा न पुनर्मोहम एवं यास्यसि पांडवा. This is 4.35. The person who is tadvidhi paripatena pariprashnena sevaya upadeshanti te jnanam jnaninam tattvadarshina. So what is the result? Who is surrendering to the spiritual master pariprashnena sevaya, and then yad gyatva na punarmoha. For such a person, he will never ever fall back into illusion. This is the greatest gift of the spiritual master. If one surrenders to the spiritual master, the Supreme Lord says that he will never ever be put into illusion or bewilderment. See 4.35. Manoram, show. Quickly, Bhagavad Gita 4.35. Yeah. Yad gyatva na punarmoham evam yasyasi pandava yena bhutani asheshani drakshyasi atmano athomai. Having obtained real knowledge from a self-realized soul, you will never fall again into such illusion. For by this knowledge you will see that all living beings are but part of the Supreme, or in other words, that they are mine. The result of receiving knowledge from self-realized soul is one who knows things as they are, is learning that all living beings are parts and parcel of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Shri Krishna. The sense of an existence separate from Krishna is called Maya. Something that we have nothing to do with Krishna, that Krishna is only a great historical personality, and that the Absolute is the impersonal Brahman. The three levels. That those who think we have nothing to do with Krishna, who are these? These are all bhogis, karmis. That Krishna is a great historical personalities. These are yogis, and he is impersonal Brahman. These are jnanis. Actually, it is stated in Bhagavad Gita, this impersonal Brahman, effulgence of Krishna. Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead is the cause of everything. In the Brahma Samhita, it is clearly stated that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the cause of all causes. Even the millions of incarnations are only his different expansions. Similarly, the living entities are also expansions of Krishna. The Mayavadi philosophers wrongly think that Krishna loses his own separate existence in his many expansions. This thought is material in nature. We have experienced in the material world that a thing, when fragmentally distributed, loses its own original identity. But the Mayavadi philosophers fail to understand that the Absolute means that 1 plus 1 is equal to 1, and that 1 minus 1 is also equal to 1. That is the case of the Absolute world. For want of sufficient knowledge in the Absolute science, they are now covered with illusion. This is the root cause. And therefore, we think that we are separate from Krishna. Although we are separated parts of Krishna, we are nevertheless not different from him. The bodily difference of the living entities is Maya, or not actual fact. We are all meant to satisfy Krishna. By Maya alone, Arjuna thought that the temporary bodily relationship with his kinsman was more important than his eternal spiritual relationship with Krishna. This is illusion. When we think that any other relation in this world is more important than our eternal relation with Krishna. The whole teaching of Gita is targeted towards this end. That a living entity, living being as Krishna's eternal servitor cannot be separated from Krishna. And his sense of being an identity apart from Krishna is called Maya. Okay, stop it. So here, Shukadeva Goswami is telling that those who have surrendered, they can never be put into any kind of bewilderment by anyone. Lord Shri Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead according to all evidences of Veda. He is accepted by all acharyas, including Sripad Sankaracharya. When he was present in the world, different classes of men accepted him differently, and therefore their calculations of the Lord were also different. Generally, persons who had faith in the revealed scriptures accepted the Lord as he is. Who? First class person, those who have faith in literatures, scriptures. And all of them merged into great bereavement when the Lord disappeared from the world. In the first canto, we have already discussed the lamentation of Arjuna and Yudhishthir, to whom the disappearance of Lord Krishna was almost intolerable up to the end of their lives. The Yadavas were only partially cognizant of the Lord. This is interesting. The Yadavas were only partially cognizant of the Lord, but they are also glorious because they had the opportunity to associate with the Lord, who acted as the head of their family. And they also rendered the Lord intimate service. The Yadavas and the other devotees of the Lord are different from those who wrongly calculated him to be as an ordinary human personality. Such persons are certainly bewildered by illusionary energy. They are hellish and are envious of the Supreme Lord. Okay, we have covered this. Lord Krishna's family as Yudhu dynasty was vanquished due to being cursed by the Brahmanas for their sins committed by Krishna in killing the sons of Dhritarashtra, etc. All these blasphemies do not touch the heart of the devotee of the Lord. It's very important. See what Prabhupada is writing. According to atheistic point of view, atheistic means those who do not believe in God, Lord Krishna's family, the Yadu dynasty, was vanquished due to being cursed by the Brahmanas for the sins committed by Krishna in killing the sons of Dhritarashtra, etc. This is what common people say, foolish people say. And Prabhupada is quoting that all these blasphemies do not touch the heart of the devotee of the Lord because they know perfectly well what is what. Their intelligence regarding the Lord is never disturbed. But those who are disturbed by the statement of the Asuras are also condemned. That is what Uddhav meant in this verse. So don't ever give any value to what general people or common people are speaking. They will never ever understand the position of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And here Uddhavji is very categorically saying that those who are devotees of the Lord, they are least influenced by the statements of the Asuras. Prabhupada is quoting. So, If he is actually a devotee of the Lord, he is least bothered. He is not influenced. That is what Uddhav meant in this verse. Pradarshaya atapta tapasa avitripta darsham nirna adyantah adhadyastu swabimbam lokalochana. Lord Sri Krishna, who manifested his eternal form before the vision of all on the earth, performed his disappearance by removing his form from the sight of those who were unable to see him as he is, due to not executing required penances. Here, Sukdev Goswami is saying that Lord Sri Krishna, who manifested the eternal form before the vision of all on the earth, performed his disappearance by removing his form from the sight of those who were unable to see him as he is, due to not executing required penances. In this verse, the word avitripta darsham is most significant. The conditioned soul in the material world are all trying to satisfy their senses in various ways. But they have failed to do so because it is impossible to be satisfied by such efforts. The example of the fish on land is very appropriate. If one takes a fish from the water and puts it on the land, it cannot be made happy by any amount of offered pleasure. If you give the fish an air-conditioned room, will it be happy? No. The spirit soul can be happy only in the association of the supreme living being, the personality of Godhead, and nowhere else. The Lord, by his unlimited causeless mercy, has innumerable Vaikuntha planets in the Brahman Jyoti spheres of the spiritual world. And in that transcendental world, there is unlimited arrangement for the unlimited pleasure of the living entities. So everyone is seeking pleasure, but the pleasure can only be experienced, or it can only be satisfying when one comes to the spiritual level, not on the material level. The Lord himself comes to display his transcendental pastimes, typically represented at Vrindavan, Mathura, and Dwarka. He appears just to attract the conditioned souls back to Godhead, back home to the eternal world. But for want of sufficient piety, the onlookers are not attracted by such pastimes of the Lord. Prabhupada is diagnosing why people are not attracted. Want of sufficient piety. They don't have punya. Why? Because they have engaged in papam. It will not appeal. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is said that only those who have completely surpassed the way of sinful reaction can engage themselves in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. What is the verse? Very famous verse. बोलिए कौन सा वर्ष है ये भगवद गीता का? हम देखते हैं लोगों को, हम बुलाते हैं, इनवाइट करते हैं, वो आते हैं, बोलते हैं, उनको बहुत अच्छा लगा, ऐसा अनुभूति कभी जीवन में नहीं है, लेकिन फिर भी नहीं आते हैं, रह जाते हैं। क्या कारण है? क्या बता रहे हैं प्रभुपाद जी? व्हाट इज द डायग्नोसिस? व्हाट इज द डिजीज? बोलो, अभी यहीं से पढ़ा हमने, प्रभुपाद जी रीजन बता रहे हैं। गुरु पुरुषोत्तम, व्हाट इज द रीजन?
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी, क्योंकि उनका जो पुण्य है वो सफिशिएंट नहीं है।
हाँ,
पाप
पाप है उनके जीवन में। जब तक पाप है और पाप का उसका रिएक्शन आना है, वो कृष्ण की तरफ आकर्षित नहीं हो, वो बार बार माया में भागे। What is the verse? Okay. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is said that only those who have completely surpassed the way of sinful reaction can engage themselves in the transcendental loving of the service of the Lord. The entire Vedic way of ritualistic performance is to put every conditioned soul on the path of piety. By strict adherence to the prescribed principles for all orders of social life, one can attain the qualities of truthfulness, control of mind, control of the senses, forbearance, etc., and can be elevated to the plane of rendering pure devotional service to the Lord. Only by such a transcendental vision are one's material hankerings fully satisfied. When the Lord was present, persons who were able to satisfy their material hankerings by seeing Him in true perspective were thus able to go back with Him to His kingdom. But those persons who were unable to see the Lord as He is remain attached to material hankerings. And were not able to go back home, back to Godhead. He is remained attached to material hankerings and were not able to go back home, back to Godhead. When the Lord passed beyond the vision of all, He did so in His original eternal form, as stated in this verse. The Lord left in His own body. He did not leave His body as is generally misunderstood by the conditioned soul. This statement defeats the false propaganda of the faithless non-devotees that the Lord passed away like an ordinary conditioned soul. The Lord appeared in order to release the world from the undue burden of the non-believing asuras. And after doing this, He disappeared from the world's eyes. Okay, this next verse is very, very nectarine verse. This is the verse to memorize. I will only recite the verse. What is the point? Or we have time. It is just 5 past 9. यन्मर्त लीला उपाय काम स्वयोगा माया बलम दर्शयता गृहीता विस्मापनम स्वयस्य सौभाग्य गार्धे परम पदम भूषणम भूषणाना. Okay, someone would like to recite? I'll recite one more time here tentatively. जन्मर्थ लीला उपाय कम स्वयोगा माया बलम दर्शयता गृहीता विस्मापनम स्वयस्य च सौभाग्य वृद्धे परम पदम भूषणम भूषणंगा. Recite. Try to memorize this verse. Very beautiful verse. I will explain it. Recite दिख रहा है सामने.
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी.
Hare Krishna. Yes, बोलिए प्रियंका. Very good.
यन्मर्त्यलीलौपैकं स्वयोगा मायाबलं दर्शयता गृहीतं विस्मापनं स्वस्य च सौभाग्यरिद्धे परं पदं भूषणाभूषणाङ्गम्.
Very good. यन्मर्त लीला उपाय कम स्वयोग. So Krishna, this Martya Leela, when he comes into this mortal world. So the form that he is displaying, the form that he is exhibiting, when he performs his transcendental pastime, when this material world. So his form is Swayog Mayavalam. By his internal potency, he exhibits his form. And what is his form? That is just suitable for his pastimes. Leela Upayakam, just suitable for his pastime. What is the form that he exhibits? Which is very much like the human form. And that pastime that he performs, the Supreme Lord, in his human form of pastime that is formed, is Vishmapanam. Is very, very wonderful. It is amazing. Vishmapanam is amazing. So he performed very wonderful, very uncommon pastimes. The Lord appeared in the mortal world by his internal potency. That Krishna has spoken so many times, that he appears by his internal potency. Yogamaya. He comes in his eternal form, which is just suitable for his pastime. These pastimes were wonderful for everyone. And even for those proud of their own opulence, including the Lord himself, in his form as the Lord of Vaikuntha. Thus, his transcendental body is the ornament of all ornaments. Understood? Not understood. I will take this verse tomorrow. No. The Lord appeared in the mortal world by his internal potency Yog Maya. And he came in his eternal form. What is the eternal form? It is the Dubhuj, human-like form. And this pastimes from this human form that he has and the pastime that he performs is Vishmapanam. Is very astonishing. Even to whom? Swa asya cha. Even to Lord Vishnu, even to Sankarshan, Pradyumna, Aniruddha, and Vikas. So, so these pastimes were wonderful for everyone. This Leela that he is performing in this human-like body, even for those proud of their opulence, including the Lord himself. That means the other incarnations. The other incarnations, when they see the pastimes of Lord Krishna, they are also amazed. They are struck with wonder. These pastimes are wonderful for everyone, even for those proud of their own opulence, including the Lord himself in this form of Lord Vaikuntha. So even Lord Narayan is very much amazed to see the pastimes of Lord Krishna. Thus his Krishna's transcendental body is the ornament of all ornaments. Okay. So I will discuss this verse tomorrow. Exhaustive. Try and recite this verse few times. So Uddhava is remembering the extraordinary pastimes of the Supreme Lord. which is fascinating even to the Lord of Vaikuntha, want to speak of any living entity. We'll discuss this further tomorrow. I'll stop here. If there is any discussion or question, please ask. Two very important principles we discussed today. Let us see if you have got it. हाँ बोलो. Yes, Ramya.
Prabhuji, in verse number 10, we discussed that one who is surrendered to Supreme Lord should never be baffled in others' opinion or never be bewildered by illusory energy.
Yes. One who has surrendered. Because then he will not be into illusion again. I just discussed that receiving knowledge from spiritual master means that illusion is over forever. How illusion is over forever? First and foremost, those who are bewildered, the devotee is never influenced or he does not give value to them. He gives value only to what the Supreme Lord and his representatives are speaking. So why he will be bewildered? He will only be bewildered to the extent that he gives value to them. Otherwise, why he will be bewildered? Na cha anyat asad ashrita. Very beautiful. Anyat are what? They are asad ashrita. And a devotee is sad ashrita or Krishna ashrita. So how who is sad ashrita can be influenced by asad ashrita? Okay. Yes, Ramya. Is it clear? That is what I have been speaking entire life. That the devotees do not care to what the non-devotees speak and never give value to what they are speaking. You should be intelligent enough to ignore them. Because non-devotees, they are always going to be asad ashrita. That is a very important principle. That the intelligence of the surrendered devotee is never affected by the words of those bewildered by the illusionary energy of the Lord. Then where is the difference between a devotee and a non-devotee? If he is also going to be bewildered by the illusionary energy, then where is the protection? Then where is the distinction? Okay. Okay, today also the appearance of Srila Vamsi Vadan Thakur, Srila Samanand Prabhu. Also today is the appearance of Radha Kund. And Krishna performs, being today Chaitra Purnima, Krishna performs the Vasanti Ras. And Lord Balaram also performs Ras. Today morning I went to Panjai Bagh. I have spoken about all these festivals. And I have given the Tattva of at least the first three. Krishna's, what is Vasanti Ras? What is the purpose of Krishna performing Vasanti Ras? And how different is Lord Balaram's Ras Yatra? What is the purpose of Balaram's Ras Yatra? Is he having competition with Krishna? He is also having ras with some gopis, and Krishna is having with some other set of gopis. What is the tattva? And why today the appearance of Radha Kunda? Okay, so thank you very much. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaur ki jai. Hare 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 Krishna.